Hi, guys. Welcome back to my podcast. I am Megan, and I am very grateful to get to be here with you and walk you through the story of my last year of life with Michael and his anoxic brain injury, and now working through his memory loss issues and cognitive deficits. We are at the point in the story where we are getting ready to leave our long-term rehab facility at the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, Georgia, and come back home to Virginia Beach. There's a lot that is happening this final week at the Shepherd Center in Atlanta. And we had a lot of visitors, mostly family members coming in and out, and it was good. And I needed it, and I needed the help. Michael was in this phase of his healing where he was just very upset with me a lot. And I would always tell myself, he doesn't mean it. He is upset because he is profoundly confused. He is upset because he doesn't have his questions answered. He is upset because he is disoriented. He would never choose to be this upset with me. He would never do the things that he was doing just given this scenario. But as much as I could tell myself that that is true, it was still very hard to be on the receiving end of my dear husband treating me certain ways that he was. And it was, conversation was awful with him at this point in the journey. He was just so fixated on, when is he going home? Where is his phone? Where is his keys? Where is his wallet? Where is anything that he was normal life, which in a way, like, that's good. However, he didn't have the awareness still that he was the patient in the hospital, and a lot had changed. So the hospital, they're trying to prepare me to come home because at this point I had said no to the opportunity to send him to another facility, which was a recommendation that they line up another place for him to go. But he wanted to go home. I felt like my kids needed me home. So I was willing to take that risk and try caring for Michael in the comfort of our own home. And so that's the mindset I'm into. The countdown is on. We're about to go home, but there are a lot of changes that had to happen in our home before we could get here. We did not have to do any alterations of the house because, thank the Lord, he did not need a wheelchair. He did not need, those types of things, those accommodations to be made for him. But because of his confusion, we had to kind of get anything out of the house that had to do with his work and his career. So my sweet father came over and packed up Michael's entire home office, which is this front room in our house. He's got desks and monitors and filing cabinets and his laptop and his briefcase, all these, a ton of things. Like, his whole life was in this office, basically. And we needed to get it out. We needed to move Michael's car. We didn't want it parked at our house because we didn't want that to, like, spark a memory and him remember, oh, that's my vehicle. Let me go get my keys. Let me hop in the car and drive it, because he cannot drive at this point. And we had to move anything else that was a safety issue out of the home. My dad installed these cameras in our house because the doctors were telling us that he's probably a flight risk. Like, if he is this disoriented at home, like how he thought the hospital room was his hotel room, if he is at home and he tries to go somewhere or doesn't understand that he can't go somewhere, we need to know where he's going. So we've got new security cameras installed in our house. The home office is totally different. One thing Michael did in the hospital was he was very bothered by clutter, or just piles of things that weren't actually clutter, but papers, books, anything on the wall. One night when I was not there, in a fit of rage, he ripped everything off of his wall, like all the beautiful pictures and note cards and that adorable giant poster made by our son's second grade class with all the red and pink hearts where each kid said, prayers over Mike. I had brought that to Atlanta and taped it up on his wall. And it was just a beautiful, colorful reminder of the prayers and love that were surrounding us. Well, one night he ripped that off the wall, balled it up, threw it in the trash can, and amongst other things that he took off the wall. And I was not there. So the cleaning crew came through at some point, the wee hours of the morning, took out the trash, and I came back to a bare room and was like, what happened? And honestly, I cried a little bit when all those things were gone, those sweet memories of home. Like, I took pictures, thankfully, but he didn't know what he was doing, but he would take things and throw them away. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, we cannot do that at home. So again, I'm long distance. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. So I am communicating with people at home saying, hey, can you go in and, dad took care of the home office. Hey, can you go in and do this? Hey, can you make sure this is not in the house? Like, trying to remember what is at home that would be a problem for Michael, which is a lot. And honestly, our bedroom, me and Michael's bedroom, we have never done anything with it. We have hand-me-down furniture from my parents' first year of marriage. What was that? 30 some 40 years ago. We had like mismatched chairs. I had a broken nightstand. It was not a place of rest or relaxation. So here I am being like, I gotta come home. This is everything in our bedroom is going to drive Michael insane. So I made this choice to spend some money on our bedroom, which in normal world, that's like, yay, so fun. You get new furniture. But, and it was a beautiful thing. And I'll get to that in a minute, but like, it was kind of out of necessity. I needed to make a cohesive space that everything had a purpose in our room, and it was not cluttered, and everything fit in a space, and it was clean and understandable, if that makes sense. So I actually reached out to a friend who is this very talented interior designer. And I said, hey, here's my scenario. Here's my budget. Can you help me do this in like a week? It was really fast, but she did it. And I will 100% link to her on Instagram. And she has since moved to Texas. So all you Texans, you're welcome. She's incredible. I would check her out. But she took care of my room from long distance. And I approved what she wanted to do, and she made it happen. So I will be going home to this beautiful room that I've never had before, but it's entirely different. Even the way our bed is oriented has been shifted and changed. Like, the wall color has changed, the bedding has changed, the art has changed, the furniture has changed. And I truthfully, like, I wanted that. That was a gift to myself. But it's different, right? Like, I left with one bedroom and memories of our house the way it was, and I'm now coming back home with a lot of things different. So not only is my life different, but my physical surroundings are very different. So, but anyway, back to the positives of that. Our neighbors, Jason and Anna, they gifted us with painting the two rooms. So the refreshed walls, like, totally blessed by them. So that was incredible. But like, I piecemealed the help. Like, I think they even steamed our carpets while all the furniture was moved out in that. But all of this was to create a space where Michael could thrive, quote unquote, thrive. And we had to make these changes because I didn't want him walking around our house throwing away anything he didn't like. And now I have very funny stories of when we get back home. I hopefully will remember to share those in the coming episodes. But I am trying to organize all the changes that have to happen, because when you have a patient or a person that has short-term and long-term memory loss and doesn't really have good awareness of his daily life, like, these are factors you have to think about. He could not understand why he couldn't drive. He would get upset at the smallest things. And I just felt like I was constantly walking on eggshells. So I was trying to create as smooth of a transition home as possible for us. Another thing that happened in that time preparing for us to come home was Michael's older brother, John, who is a doctor. He had come to visit in Atlanta and learned kind of where Michael was, got to talk medical language with people. And he came back to Virginia Beach. He and his family came back, and they held this like class, or it was not a class, it was like a meeting for people in our community, mostly friends and family, who were going to like receive us back home. And John shared, he had this PowerPoint presentation and everything. He shared how to best come alongside me and Michael in our transition back home. And of course, I was not there. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, but someone sent me a picture, and I remember being blown away with how many of you and the people who were in that room, the people who said yes, like gave up an hour on their Sunday to go sit through a presentation on how to help this person in their community. It was so beautiful. Like that whole idea, so beautiful. They had made a list of people to sign up if you want to be a workout buddy for Michael, sign up if you want to help him with therapy, sign up if you want to be a driver. Like, I was going to need a ton of help when we came back home if I was going to step into the role of mom for the 3 kids, managing the household, stepping into work eventually, and taking care of Michael full time and getting him to all his medical appointments, which were so many. But so the family, the community, everyone is prepared to come around side of us. And it was more than I could ever ask for. I am still to this day so blown away by the care and concern and the people rallying around us. Like it was an ideal transition home. But at this point in my journey, everything is coming to this head of getting home. And I am terrified, and I don't love the idea of this transition home because it's scary and it's another change. And like I mentioned, everything in our life was changing at this point. And honestly, like today, 15 months later, I often feel this same level of like frustration because everything is still different and everything is still spinning. That word keeps coming to my mind, spinning. And I'm tired. I am so tired. I was tired back in April of last year after the 2 months in the hospital, and I am tired today after 15 months home of trying to figure out this new life and everything being so uncertain. It is not a great way to live, but it's what was given to me, and I'm trying to make the best of it. And I can imagine there are many other scenarios in life when people feel this way, and I am sorry. I just want to acknowledge for a moment that I see you. You're not alone, but it is hard. It is really hard. And I just want to leave us with this prayer that I found one night while scrolling Instagram from Every Moment Holy. That is a group that you should follow on Instagram. I love, they write liturgy, these prayers. And when I was in the Shepherd Center, I've said this before, I did not pray very well, like with my words. I prayed with the groanings of my spirit, like my being was constantly praying, but my words fell short. So actually coming back to liturgy was so profound for me. I needed to borrow someone else's faith. I needed the words from someone else. So I just want to end with this part of this prayer that I kind of am still praying over myself. And if you find yourself in anything remotely related to what I just shared, may you be encouraged and use this prayer for yourself. So it's from the book called Every Moment Holy. This is volume 2. All right. This part of the prayer says, Lord, be near in ways that I can sense and know. Convince me of your care. Be my everlasting rock, my unassailable fortress, my fierce defender. Steady the spinning of my world. Amen. There's that word again, spinning. Maybe that's where I'm getting it from. Be near in ways that I can sense and know. Convince me of your care. Who doesn't need convincing of his care? We all do. Be my everlasting rock, my unassailable fortress, my fierce defender. steady the spinning of my world. Please, yes, and amen. So I will leave you with that. Just this quick little update. Next week, we'll get to the episode of bringing Michael home. That was a fun adventure. I appreciate you all. By the time that this episode comes out, I will be getting back from a missions trip that I get to go on with my church. So I will be really excited to share some of that with you. But for now, I love you all. We will be together next time on the podcast.